you drink tap water. Like you drink your water straight from the tap. This is strange to someone coming into South Africa from a country like Nigeria because we don't drink our tap water. We do not. It's you don't just go to the tap, turn on the water, and drink straight. No, that I'll call it for cholera or typhoid or something. So kudos to South Africa. Water is there's no taste, there is no aftertaste. I've never gotten sick from tap water. I've never had diarrhea or reactions. Water from the tap, no expenses on water. The use of shame. Oh, shame. I'm like, bruh. Shame on who? The Nigerian nearly came at me. I'm like, shame about shame. That what? So because I don't have a brother, but the fact that healthcare is free. Public display of affection. It was one of the things I really struggled with when I came. It took a long time for me to adjust to it, and no, we don't do that in Nigeria. No, in Nigeria, no. No, I struggled with that thing because it took me a while to adjust to it, that people can be this free in public. No, wait till you get inside now, auntie, uncle. How is it doing you? Wait. The first thing that I found that was very weird to me was that they drive on the left side. Now, in Nigeria, we drive on the right side, and it was very weird for me coming into the country in 2013, and my husband's friend picked me up from the airport because he stays in Joburg. So when I landed in King Shasha Airport, the first thing that I remembered was after coming through immigrations, my husband's friend picked me up from the airport, and after we were done packing all of my things, because I came with things, I came with load, I packed. So after we are done packing all of my things into the boat, I just went straight into the left side. I was going to the passenger seat. From Nigeria, that was where we always sit. The passenger always sits by the left side. I didn't know that was the driving seat. He stretched out his key to me. I said, take, I think you want to drive us. I mean, I'm like, what's he talking about? But when I looked, I saw that the steering was on the left side. It was really funny. I was quite embarrassed because I felt like I should have known that because I did some level of research when I was coming to the country, but I don't know how that missed me. But that was one of the things that I found it very very strange, very weird that you drive on the left side. So learning to drive, when I started to learn how to drive, it didn't feel right, being so close to the other passenger, although it will basically be the same thing if you're driving on the right side too, right? So driving on the left, that thing was weird. It took me a while to adjust. I'd made that mistake a couple more times before it finally stuck or sunk in my head that you always sit on the right as the passengers. Okay, so another thing that really surprised me coming in South Africa was that you drink tap water. Like you drink your water straight from the tap. This is something that is fairly new or is strange to someone coming into South Africa from a country like Nigeria because we don't drink our tap water. Even if you have water running through your tap, you're probably boiling, sterilizing, just treating the water in some way or form because we do not, you don't just go to the tap, turn on the water and drink straight. No, I'll call it for cholera or typhoid or something. It's your one waterborne disease. It's not something that is normal where I come from. What is normal is pure water or bottled water. You see people going around with their water bottles. You see people buying water or soft drinks or what you call fizz or pop or what you call soda or Sprite, Coke. You see people buying all of these things and it's readily available. Like everywhere you turn, there's a talk shop or a small shop or someone even hawking, there's someone just selling something for you to drink and it's usually very cold. So it's one of the things that, wasn't very... It took a while for me to start drinking the water from the tap, although I adjusted to it, I think, in the same week that I came, but it was just weird that I would open the tap and I can just drink the water from it. It was really... So kudos to South Africa. Water is, there's no taste, there is no aftertaste. It's just clean and clear. The water is just really good to drink, and I can tell you that from a scientist-wide point of view. Yes, yeah. So drinking water from the tap was quite weird, but I adjusted to it, and it's not something that I regret. I've never gotten sick from tap water. I've never had diarrhea or reactions or breakouts, whatever. No, I haven't had any of that. Water is life. What can I say? It's free. We don't have to buy water, except of course when there's shortage and all of that. But water from the tap, no expenses on water. I'm all for that. Okay, so the third point that I'm going to be talking about today is something that I'm sure a lot of Nigerians or people from other nationals, maybe other Africans will probably relate to it. The use of these two prominent words. There are other words that they use, but these two words, shame and must. The use of shame. I remember the first time someone said that. Okay, it was actually a compliment. Well, she meant it as a compliment. I was talking to someone from church, and she was asking about my family, and she asked how many siblings I have, and I told them I have just two. Like, I'm in the middle, so there's one elder and one younger. And she was like, "Oh, so you don't have any boys?" I'm like, "Yeah, no." I'm like, "Oh, shame." I'm like, "Bruh. Shame on who?" The Nigerian nearly came at me. I'm like, shame about shame. That what? So because I don't have a brother. But, I started to understand, or when I hear it in other conversations, I'm like, they probably don't mean it as an insult. It's just like, it's an expression. But it was really weird. I couldn't understand it. I mean, I would say something like, "Oh, I had to take 2 buses to get down here," and I'd be like, "Oh, shame." I'm like, shame on who? I really didn't get it for a very long time, because it took me a while to actually understand that it was like a form of expression. And then when it came to the word must, even till today, when my child now started talking, my firstborn, when he started talking and he started going to school, and then he comes home. I remember the first time I even heard that word used in a very weird way. I was going to enter a bus or a taxi. It's called a taxi here. So I was going to enter a taxi, and there was this lady sitting just by the door. And as I was about to enter the door, I was asking her to please can you move so that I can go through? So master, move. I'm like, I'm not asking for fight, please. I just want to go in. She didn't mean it as an insult, but to me it came off like I didn't get it. It was really weird. It was really weird. So the use of must is something I've probably said it once or twice. Like, I mean, it's starting to become normal vocabulary, but it's not right. But I don't know. It still gives me I still cringe anytime someone uses the word must in a very weird way. I still haven't gotten used to it, and it's been almost 8 years. So, okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that healthcare is free. Now, when I say healthcare is free, I mean some people are actually paying for it, because, like, when you go to school, like I remember when I started registration for school in 2013, I had to pay for medical aid. So all of that money goes to the health sector, and healthcare is accessible. I mean, for instance, my children, both pregnancies, from antenatal to scan to delivery to aftercare to immunization that they're currently still going for. I mean, my children go for immunization every 6 months. They get their vitamin A shots and they get dewormed every 6 months. So all their immunizations are free. Healthcare is just accessible to everybody. So if someone is just running a temperature, or your child just develops some kind of cold, or you could just take them down to the clinic, and there's a clinic in every neighborhood, well, almost every neighborhood, or every major neighborhood, or healthcare is just very accessible, very close to my house here, about 5 minutes drive, or 3 to 5 minutes drive. There's a clinic close by, and that's where my children go every 6 months to get immunized, to get their vaccines, to get their vitamin A shots, to get dewormed, and it is all completely free. I mean, if someone told me that I would give birth to 2 children completely free, I didn't pay for any antenatal, I didn't pay for any scan. I had 2 scans for each baby, although they didn't tell you the sex, but I think it's just a medical procedure. I don't know the science, or I don't know the reason behind that. Although they won't tell you the sex of the child, but you get 2 scans to make sure that the baby's in the right position, to make sure that there's no health concern while the baby's still inside, to make sure that your fluids are right and all of that. So all of that, even when I gave birth, there was no charge, no medical charge, no medical fees at all. So it's just, healthcare is just accessible, guys. I mean, it is free for everyone. You can just walk up to the clinic. So far, you provide your proof of address, which should not be too far away from the clinic, and also a proof of your data page from your passport or your ID book or whatever it is that you have as proof of identification. So healthcare is completely free, guys. So I think that the exception to healthcare is if you have like a procedure that you want done that is not actually life-threatening, or something like that. I don't think they would really do a free surgery as for something like a cosmetic, something cosmetic in nature. I don't know. But healthcare is just accessible to you. You get free medication, you get doctor's assessments free of charge, of course, except you do not want to go through the public sector. You want to go to a private clinic, of course you will have to pay. There are private clinics where you can go and get private treatments, see doctors, get quick, because with free and accessible healthcare, there is always crowds in hospitals, clinics, and what you have to queue. But with the private sector, it's faster, You don't have to wait or queue or stand in line or anything like that. It's just really fast. So the fifth point is the shopping experience. So the first time I went to the shops to get something, I think it was at Pick and Pay in Berea Center. My husband just let me go ahead because I think I wanted to interact with the cashier. So I was in front of my husband. He was pulling the trolley, and I was offloading groceries onto the conveyor belt. So the cashier was scanning the goods and all of that. And at the end of everything, I think we picked up about 5 or 7 items that day. It was really small, and she asked me, "Would you like a plastic?" And I looked at my husband in shock. I was like, these people are so nice. You buy things and meaning that, the idea that came to my mind was when she said plastic. Now, coming from Nigeria, when you say plastic, we're talking about containers and something plastic, maybe something like this, like plastic. We don't call nylon. We don't call it plastic. We call it nylon or rubber. So it was a different name. It was hard to understand what she was saying. I looked at my husband in shock. I'm like, he looked at me and he just burst into laughter. So he had to explain to the lady that, no, okay, yeah, we'll take one plastic. And after that day, of course, I didn't need to be reminded that, plastic means nylon. It was a real shocker for me. I looked at my husband, he made fun of me till we got home that day. It was a really fun experience for me. I don't know how, it was just very weird, but it was just one of my experiences. So when you come to South Africa, if you don't want to buy plastic, please bring your own shopping bag. Don't be like me. And you have to pay for it. So it's not free. Bring your own shopping bag, guys. Recycle. Reduce all of the plastic going around and all of that. So please don't be like me, guys. Bring your shopping bag along. Okay, so another point I want to talk to you about is the fact that, okay, let me explain first. You know how fast-paced Nigerians are? Like, everybody's in a hurry. We're always rushing, always walking. So even if you're going to a friend's place, you don't want to stay too long, walking slowly on the road. Everybody's moving. No time. We're rushing to enter bus, rushing to... South Africans are very chilled. I don't know how it is in other provinces. I'm talking from Durban. Durban experience here, people are really laid back. People don't really, there's no fuss. If I miss this bus, I'll get the next one. So it's, I struggled when I came in because I was wondering, why are people moving so slow? Let them move move fast. I mean, you can even see me coming and the person will wait till I'm like in front of them before they, I didn't understand it. But now I think I'm starting to understand, or maybe I'm starting to get slow, I don't know, but it used to give me issues, especially before we became mobile. Walking on the streets of South Africa was not, I was struggling because people didn't move as fast as I wanted them to, especially when I go to town, when I'm like in West Street or, just people just really take their time. They're walking really slowly, conversing, maybe buying, window shopping. Even when I'm window shopping, I'm like, let's keep it moving. No time. Let's move. Go in and come out. Let's like best and lay. But it's different. It's different. It's really different. People are really laid back. People really take their time. Even the buses. Don't let me even get started on the buses. The buses, in Nigeria, I don't know how it is. Maybe when they leave the park, the South Africans know it as the bus station. When you leave the park, when you leave the park, it's like the buses are always, or the taxis are always in a hurry to drop the passengers and come back, pick the next people, go and come back. South Africa, you will wait, because especially if it's like in midday when it's not rush hour, the buses will waste your time. They will waste your time. They will park on the road and literally go into the street and be calling people from there. I don't know. I struggled with that thing. It used to really frustrate me when I would have to take public transport, because they are never in a hurry, never ever in a hurry. And when they're in a hurry, when you meet one of them who's in a hurry to drop you and go back to the park or just make a U-turn, the way they would drive, I'm coming to that. That's another point. So chilled. South Africans are very chill, very laid back. They don't, no stress. Yeah, no stress. Okay, so this point. Okay, so the next point I'm going to talk about is public display of affection. It's coming from Nigeria, where people tend to do their PDA behind closed doors. It's not a common thing that you see on the road, in schools, where you see two lovers or two people who are into each other making out or touching each other inappropriately in public. in Nigeria, well, I don't know how it is now, but when I was there, there's something for inside the closed door. We don't lolloxing, we'll be gumming lip, be grabbing bomb, grabbing in the public, in the open outside. In the streets, no, we don't do it. So it was very weird for me. It was one of the things I really struggled with when I came. It took a long time for me to adjust to it. People would just, like, you could be sitting in a cafeteria area and there are two people who have bought a meal together. They're probably eating the meal or they are done with the meal. And the next thing they're kissing in public. They're holding hands. They're probably touching and, no, we don't do that. In Nigeria, no. In Nigeria, no. No, I struggled with that thing because it took me a while to adjust to it, that people can be this free in public. No, wait till you get inside now, auntie, uncle. How is it doing you? Wait. Especially now when my children are getting older and my firstborn is so inquisitive, he will see these things and be asking me, why are they kissing? Or sometimes he will want to look at it and stare for a while. I'm like, my friend, look this way. Okay, understand that, okay, people who are affectionate and all of that, they can, hold hands, probably share a peck or a kiss on the lip, like those contacts, not, no, it can't be normal. No, let's not call something that's not normal. I don't like what I eat. Okay, so the last and final point is that, I don't know, Nigerians, the taxi drivers in South Africa are the same in some areas, in some ways, in some characters. They drive recklessly. It's the same thing in Nigeria. It was really shocking to me because I thought that things might be different here. They hoot loudly. They horn. They use it anyhow. And we use it anyhow back home too. Another thing that they do is that we don't do in Nigeria is the music. Oh my God, have you been in a South African taxi? I don't know if it's the same in other provinces, but the way the volume will be so loud, it's like they don't want any disturbance. They don't want to hear anybody in the background. Everybody just keep quiet. The music will be so loud. You can't receive a call while you're in a taxi. You probably have to talk to them, and that's even if you understand the language. Because most of them will not speak English to you. Forget it. In Nigeria, we also, especially if you're in Yoruba land, they'll speak Yoruba. If you're in Igbo land, they'll speak Igbo. If you're in Hausa land, they'll speak Hausa. If you don't understand the language and you attempt to speak English, the way they look at you, you're your own. So some of their behaviors are the same. The only different thing that I have seen is when it comes to money or payments. In Nigeria, if you don't have your change, forget it. Some of them will even take your change and go. Some of them will join you. You will join yourself. They will say, okay, this person and this person, you are not going together. You don't even enter the bus together because you didn't have change. They'll give you like 100 rand and put 3 people together, so you can't sort yourselves out. But in South Africa, it's kind of different because no matter what they will look for change for you. So I've not really heard them say, if you don't have change, don't enter. No. But in Nigeria, if you don't have change and you enter and you keep quiet, okay, they will keep quiet. So when you get down, you see yourself. But yeah, so some of their characters, some of their behaviors are the same.